Good morning and welcome to our Sunday service. We are so happy you are joining us today. A special day, a day when we celebrate new members who have joined our congregation since September. It's truly a great joy and an honor to welcome our new members into community with you all today. If you've been thinking about becoming a member of our congregation, please let me know. Our two-part Pathway to Membership classes will resume in January. Pathway to Membership participants learn about the congregation's history and how we work today. It's a wonderful way to get to know a small group of people and decide how you can become part of our collective future. Please contact me, Tina Lewis, at tlewis@unitytemple.org or stop by the welcome table in the foyer after service. I look forward to hearing from you soon, and I hope you enjoy this special service.
Good morning. That has a long reverb time. My name is Ed McDevitt. My pronouns are he, him, and his, and I serve on your Board of Trustees. It's my pleasure to welcome you here this morning. While masks are no longer required, we still do recommend them as a way to protect each other. If you are here for the first time, thank you for joining us. We look forward to getting to know you. We invite everyone present in the sanctuary today to join our in-person community time immediately following the service. And we do have an information session later after the service today with respect to our annual meeting, which is coming up soon. Each week we remind ourselves of our congregation's core values: connection, transformation, justice, and acceptance. Our mission is to embody these core values in our daily lives by welcoming all, inspiring compassion, nurturing wonder, and serving community. Unitarian Universalists also hold 7 principles. Today I'd like to remind us of principle number 3, acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregation, something we are celebrating today with our new members. We're so glad that you're with us today. We hope you find the service inspiring and meaningful. I invite you now to take a moment to greet one another, both online and in the sanctuary.
Our chalice lighters for today is the sibling duo of Simon Voss and Edward Voss. Simon likes helping, and Edward likes playing outside. Please join me in the words of our chalice lighting. We are Unitarian Universalists. We are the church of the open minds, loving hearts, and helping hands. We take care of the planet Earth and each other.
desperation, we found freedom. In freedom, we found love. In love, we found devotion. In devotion, Spirit found us. In desperation, we found freedom. In freedom, we found love. In love, we found devotion. In devotion, Spirit found us. In desperation, we found freedom. In freedom, we found love. In love, we found devotion. In devotion, Spirit found us. In desperation, we found freedom. In freedom, we found love. In love, we found devotion. In devotion, Spirit found us. Spirit found us. Spirit found us.
Come, let us enter this space of hope and community, of love and devotion and spirit. Come, let us enter this space with our sorrows, our joys, our passions, and our compassion. Come, let us enter this space with the stories of our ancestors, for their strength and wisdom beats in this community still. Come into this space, present to the beloved companions who move beside us, mindful that together we are building a future for other generations, for those whom are yet to come. Whoever you are, wherever you are on your life's journey, and wherever you are in the world, you are welcome here. Come, let us worship together.
Good morning, everyone. Please stand as you're able, and we will sing together congregational song number 360, Here We Have Gathered. How do you do it? I'm lost. Here we have gathered side by side, circle of kinship, come and stand.
Please join in the words of our covenant. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with God.
Now is the time in the service when we share the joys and sorrows of our lives with one another. And by sharing them, we strengthen and deepen our connections with one another and with this congregation that we love so deeply. Each week, there will be a binder outside the doors to the sanctuary, and those of you who attend in person are invited to write your joy or your sorrow in the binder. It looks like this. Joys and sorrows. It's right on the wall behind me. And when it's open, it looks like this. I'm saying that because this is a new thing we're trying out for the next few months, and new things are sometimes hard to adapt to, and so today we have no written joys or sorrows to share. However, we're also going to share, for those of you who are online, we will review the chat each week and then bring forward what you have as a joy or a sorrow in the chat to share this week. And so this week, we do have one joy that was shared, one sorrow that was shared online last week. Aiko Igarashi asked that you hold her dear friend Gail and her daughter Kendall in your hearts. So we will hold Gail and Kendall in our hearts. You are also able to continue to email your joys and sorrows. You can mail them to joysandsorrows@unitytemple.org. But please do remember, those of you who come in person, please do utilize the Joys and Sorrows binder that will be by the doors to the sanctuary. And now I invite anyone who has a joy or a sorrow on their minds or in the hearts to come forward and silently, it makes a plunk sound, but other than that, silently drop a stone into the bowl of water that we have. And as you come forward, please form lines along the side, and then you can return up the middle. As people are coming forward, if you feel so inclined, I invite those of us who would like to sing Spirit of Life, repeating until everyone who has had a chance to drop a stone into the bowl has had that chance. So we will sing it repeatedly. Thank you. benediction. Spirit of life, earth and sea and sky, place of deep longing in our hearts, find your way from silence to voice. Give us strength and courage to speak truth through our lives, for we are creatures of the universe, small but infinite. We are momentary bodies in the sea of life and also the sea itself. We are gathered bits of energy, and we are also ones who gather. Creation, creator, growing, alive. Let us not hold too tightly to one form and lose the other, for we are not form but process, ever changing and ever renewing. Help us see that we are neither the beginning nor the end, but something perfectly natural and imperfectly divine. With all our gratitude, we say amen and blessed be. Today is indeed an exciting Sunday. Today, we welcome new members to Unity Temple Unitarian Universalist Congregation. I now invite the following people to come and join us at the front of the sanctuary. Our board president, Amanda Coletta-Cott, our director of membership and engagement and membership, Tina Lewis, our religious education coordinator, Val Reidenauer, members of the membership committee, Jeff Liebert, John Frey, Aaron McKinney, Dee Dee Reed, and Julie Willoughby, and of course, our new members, Pat Benjamin, Kristen Gourlay, Charles Hamaker, I am sorry, I am going to mutilate some of these names, I apologize, James and Christy Kaberger, thank you, Amy Markley and Mark Sneathen, Marie McBain and Joseph Yowell, Angela Romito, Melissa and August Stas, Pat Nabe, David Remnick and Gabriela Zapata Olma, Virginia Rivera and Humberto Carrizales, Rado Randolph, soon-to-be Rodriguez, and Figaro Rodriguez Martin. Thank you.
We are going to do a responsive reading, and so in the order of service, if you open that up, there's a part there that says congregation, and I'm going to lead you in that, and our new members have their part written for them too. We, the members of Unity Temple Unitarian Universalist Congregation, celebrate and welcome you to our shared religious journey. We welcome you as once we were welcomed ourselves. We seek to be open and inclusive, respecting your inherent dignity, your ideas, and your vision. We seek to be supportive to each other and encourage you to reach out to us as we reach out to you. We know we will not always live up to our ideas. When we fall short, we invite you to stay in relationship and help us more fully bring alive the spirit of love. As mythical members of this congregation, of this faith, and of our shared spiritual journeys, may we begin anew.
And now I invite the congregation to sing hymn number 346 in the hardback gray hymnal, Come Sing a Song With Me, as we formally welcome these new members to our community. It's a pleasure. I'm sorry about mispronouncing your name. I'm sorry. It's a pleasure to have you. It's a pleasure to have you. I'm sorry. Hello. I'm sorry for any mispronunciations. Well, we are so glad to have you all here. And remind me, very nice to have you. You're welcome. Congratulations. Glad to have you. Charles. Conacher. Okay, great, excellent, thank you. Hi, Kristen, I hope I didn't mispronounce your name too poorly. Oh, thank you. It's such a pleasure to have you. I like your glasses. Hi, Christy. It's so good to have you. It's I mispronounced it. Say it for me again. Right. It's all good. It is a pleasure to have you all in this congregation. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome. Sorry. This is that we always call it the baby shit, right? Welcome. We are so glad to have you with me. It's such a pleasure. Hello. Hello again. Hello again. It is a joy to have you here. I'm so glad. Hello. Congratulations. Did I say your name right? Did I? Okay. Wonderful. Excellent. It is so good. And what's your name? Piper. It is a pleasure to have you on here with us. Welcome. Here's a pleasure. Shake your hand. That's okay. No pressure. Hello. Good. How are you? Oh, good. And Stubbs. Okay, good. Excellent. I should have checked about that beforehand and I didn't. I apologize for that. And Juniper. How old are you, Juniper? Yes. That's correct. Excellent. We're so glad to have you all. Pickles are awesome.
Come
Here may you find comfort, for life often carries with it pain, and may you find joy in the shared gifts of life and love. Here may you be challenged, for questioning is a source of learning and of love. May you add your voices to ours, finding harmony in the diversity that we affirm. May you build on your faith that it might sustain you during life's transitions. Here, may you find your spiritual home, creating with us a community which welcomes all. Welcome. We're so glad you're a part of us. And now I invite our children to go to their religious education classrooms as we sing the song that we normally sing, to sing them out.
An excerpt from Messy and Imperfect Beloved Community by Layla Abram. I have been going to the same church for a very long time. In all those years, I have filled a variety of leadership positions, from OWL teacher to board president, usher coordinator to stewardship co-chair. And in all those years, my congregation has had ample opportunity to disappoint me. I'm disappointed when people don't think my justice project is the one we should collectively work on. I'm disappointed that we don't all agree that our children's ministry is the most important priority in church. I'm disappointed that people don't give as much time, talent, or treasure to the church as I do. I'm disappointed. You get the idea. In nearly 30 years of relationship, there have been lots of disappointments. I've been so disappointed that I seriously question remaining in my congregation. I have doubted its ability to provide the salvation of which we speak, lived, beloved community. On those occasions, I've thought, F it, I can just stop going to church. But staying away has never helped me through such times. Rather, coming in closer, telling people about my spiritual crisis, listening, sharing, caring, and worshiping have helped me to know that this is where I belong, even when church is the source of my frustration and disappointment. Because we are not in church to be with people who want to sing the same music or rally for the same cause or attend the same retreats. We are in church to learn how to love better. And learning to love better can only happen when we love past our disappointments and return to a place of acceptance and affirmation. It is deep spiritual practice. At my best as a religious person, as a Unitarian Universalist, as a member of this congregation, I am called to love whoever walks through these doors. I don't need to like everyone. Not everyone is who I would choose for a friend. Not everyone agrees about what we are here to do. But if I am living up to my best values, I can offer care and respect and commitment to each member, friend, and guest of my community. In the end, we can all try our best to live out our faith as Unitarian Universalists. We forgive ourselves and we forgive others as we stumble through. We disagree, we annoy, and we flake out on one another. And we worship and we support and we hold and we affirm one another. There's really only one choice between imperfect community and no community. Again and again, we are called to choose to commit ourselves to building a more just, more diverse, and yet ever messy and imperfect beloved community.
This morning's anthem is Behold the New Joy, welcoming in, something new beginning for us. Specifically, it was written for the Advent season, but we thought it was particularly appropriate today as we welcome all these wonderful new members to our community. Ecce Novum.
Thank you, choir. That was lovely. Oh, how much bigger you've gotten. We say that to children as we watch them grow, particularly if we haven't seen them for a while. But growth doesn't just mean physically. It can also mean spiritually, like what Chuck talked about in his sermon last week. If you haven't watched the service, I recommend you go back and see it. Or growth can mean emotionally. We can also grow in wisdom or maturity. There are lots of ways that we can grow. I remember one experience so well. I had just come out of something very difficult and was processing it with a wise and beloved colleague. Dawn, she said patiently, it sounds like you're in the middle of an AFGE. A what? I asked her. An AFGE, another fracking growth experience. Only she didn't say fracking. AFGEs. You may also have heard them referred to AFGOs for growth opportunities. These are the things that the phrase, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, is meant to describe, where in the ideal, you come out stronger, wiser, more resilient. Basically, you grow in some way. All living things grow. So perhaps it isn't surprising that our organizations, the organizations that we human beings create, our institutions, have lives of their own and thus have a similar experience of growth as an indicator of life. In his book, More Than Numbers, The Way Churches Grow, originally published in 1993, Lauren Mead outlined 4 dimensions of growth for congregations and states that a growing, vital congregation will most likely be paying attention to each of these 4 dimensions. Mead says that healthy congregations can grow numerically, organically, incarnationally, don't worry, I'll explain that, and maturationally. To that list of 4 more recently, we have added that congregations can also grow connectionally. But what does all of this mean? And what does it mean here at Unity Temple in this specific moment in time? Once upon a time, when someone asked, "Is your church growing?" they meant really only one thing: numeric growth, specifically growth in membership numbers. The idea was that thriving congregations would grow and grow and grow and grow unbounded in membership numbers. But that's not the only way that numeric growth occurs. And indeed, congregations are shrinking as a result of changes in our culture and changes particularly out of this pandemic. But you can still be growing numerically. You could be growing in how many participate in your worship. You could be growing in how many participate on Sunday morning in your religious education. It could mean a growth in the size of the budget, the number of activities, or a number of active members. Here at Unity Temple, we just welcomed a slew of new members, and the amount of money given for the annual pledge drive has increased each year for the past 10 years. Including during a pandemic and ministerial transition. Whether or not we are growing in total membership numbers as a whole, there are other signs of significant numeric growth here at Unity Temple. So that's 1. 2 is organic growth. Mead is talking about institutional development. According to him, organic growth is about the task of building the community, fashioning the organizational structures, developing the practices and the processes that result in a dependable, stable network of human relationship in which we can and from which we can make a difference. Or, put more simply, organic growth is the growth of the congregation as a functioning community. Is the congregation able to maintain itself as a living organism and as an institution that can engage with society? Organic growth involves having healthy internal organizational systems like policies and processes, recruiting and succession planning practices for leaders, evaluation mechanisms for programs and for volunteers and for paid staff, practices that deal with conflict openly and honestly. This is an area of growth for this congregation. But as your interim minister, I am pleased by the signs of growth I see in this area, in this congregation. The board is working on making sure we have policies in place that will provide a structure for decision-making. They're also beginning to track key metrics to better evaluate the health of the congregation. And board managerial committees are recruiting new volunteer members. This type of growth is perhaps not as exciting to most people as some of the other areas, though some of us institutionalists find it exciting. But it is absolutely essential to get a foundation nice and strong so that a congregation can excel and grow in other areas as well. Another area of strength for this congregation is in your incarnational growth. Incarnate means to embody. So this is the ability to take meaning and values of our Unitarian Universalist faith and make them real in the world, to incarnate them or embody them in the world. The congregation grows in its ability to, as UU theologian James Luther Adams says, socially incarnate what Unitarian Universalist faith is all about. Incarnational growth addresses questions like, what impact are we having on the world outside our community? What are the good works that we are doing to make this world a better place? And I see so much evidence of this kind of growth here at Unity Temple, from the robust Faith and Action program to the thriving Our Whole Lives comprehensive sexuality curriculum and more. From the folks who were in Springfield just a few weeks ago, to the letters to our pen pals in prison, to the candlelight peace vigil and service of remembrance that will be here on December 14th. Unity Temple is strong in opportunities for incarnational growth, for living our faith out into the world, for embodying it. The fourth area of growth that Mead identified is maturational growth. This means growth in the stature and religious maturity of each member, as well as growth in the ability to nurture and be nurtured. This is where our AFGs and our AFGOs often come into place. And what our reading was talking about when Tina said that again and again we are called to choose to commit ourselves to building a more just, more diverse, and yet ever messy and imperfect beloved community. Because it takes maturity to be able to be in community and not get our way, to be in community with people that we love but disagree with, or people that we love but maybe don't like all that much. To be in covenant with one another, to call one another back into covenant, to allow ourselves to be called back into covenant. This takes a maturity that we are not born with and that does not come naturally to most human beings, but that will grow if we nurture it, if we stay in the discomfort long enough for growth to happen. And finally, to these original four, we have recently added connectional growth. Growing connectionally means a congregation is expanding their awareness of the importance and relevance of connections with other organizations, that the congregation is not a lone wolf all by itself out in the community. Connectional growth can come from our relationship with other UU congregations, with our region, and with a larger Unitarian Universalist association. Or when board presidents connect with other board presidents, that is connectional growth. When the congregational staff recently attended the UUA's large church conference, this also was connectional growth. Connectional growth can also mean connections with our social justice partners who help us to be accountable. In our Faith in Action program, we build relationships with partners and are accountable to the people who are most impacted by injustices. We're not sitting in isolation wondering what we would like to do, but instead are listening to our partners who are closest to the injustice and saying, "This is what we need from you." And our Faith and Action teams are growing. We currently have 8 teams, but maybe expanding to 9, and each one has at least one partner that we are accountable to. Today, we celebrate our new members, and there are so many signs of growth in other ways here at this congregation. It isn't always comfortable. It isn't always easy. Okay, let's be honest, it's usually not comfortable. And it's usually really hard. And we make mistakes, and we hurt each other, and yet we come back and try again and again and again, because we believe in what this faith community has to offer. Yes, the growing pains may feel like an AFGE or an AFGO, and this is what it means to be a living congregation. If you weren't alive, you wouldn't have this conflict, these growing pains. This is what it means to thrive, because all living things grow. May we have faith that the pain represents a growth experience, a growth opportunity, and may we grow together with love, with patience, with kindness. May it be so. May we make it so.
Good morning. I'm Vera Dowell, and myself and my family have been supporters of the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee for many years. We particularly appreciate the way that the UUSC works. Unlike some charities who collect money for a problem they see either in this country or somewhere else in the world, and they go in and set it all up and make mistakes, and the UUSC, if we see a problem, they go to where the problem is, they see the organizations that are there, that are led by local leaders, and then they offer assistance. What a wonderful way to give. So today, I'm asking that you give to the UUSC either in cash or check written to Unity Temple with UUSC in the memo line, or you may you follow the instructions on the screen and give with your phone. And if you already gave and you want to give more, that will be wonderful and greatly appreciated. And is that connectedness growth? I think so. Thank you. May your giving bring you joy.
Hello again. If you can stand as you're able and join together to sing congregational song 1029. It's in the little blue book. Love knocks and waits for us to hear.
Love knocks and waits for us to hear, to open and invite. Love longs to quiet every
words of Jacob Trapp, may the love that makes life beautiful, the reverence that makes life holy, and the truth that makes us free lead us onward together into a deepening and growing communion with life and with one another. May it be so. And now please join me in the words of our chalice extinguishing. Carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again.